rocking and rolling. We yigging and y'allin'. Yes, yes, y'allin'. What they say? Yiggy, yiggy, yes, yes, y'allin'.
Health in African American in the African American community.
Okay. What are your cards?
Look, don't put it on that. That's our 1 minute, 2 minute card.
Okay, good. There's about to be a coffee coaster.
I did have a coffee coaster up here, this motherfucker. What happened to it? Oh, shit. Okay.
We are ready.
Getting ready to tape the show, you guys?
Is that Lulu?
No. This, no. You want to taste Lulu? There's a few pieces. She in the house still curing some jars. This is a few pieces of her. Yeah. We about to roll up some Lulu, y'all.
Roll up some Lulu.
Yeah, try her out here.
Lulu.
Let's see what Lulu's about.
So much Lulu. Lulu.
Ready?
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, you guys? And welcome to the 2OD Smoking Weed Coffee and Blunt Session. It's your boy Bud Margins in the house.
Mr. Good Kush 89. Love smoke, baby.
So hopefully everybody's day is going good today. So we kind of want to get on here and we kind of want to talk about health in the African American community.
Health makes wealth.
Mm-hmm. We want to talk about like
In yourself.
what we need to do to make ourselves healthier. Not just physically healthier, but mentally healthier, which is really the biggest hurdle for health in the African American community is that mental health, you know. It has to do with, you know, my theory of sound mind, sound body, sound mind, how they work together. So, you know, but it, of course also the eating part is also a big part of it, which I also talk about the trilogy of the kitchen, the mind, and the body all working together in unison to make you a healthier person. The problem is in a lot of these black communities, they just don't have those choices, you know, to be able to eat the right types of food because they're just not available to them in those communities.
What's available?
Twinkies, ding dongs, ho hos.
You know, I had to be the one.
Yeah. And every once in a while,
As far as like driving distance or walking distance, usually, what's usually in the neighborhood that's available?
alcohol, everything that's bad for you, you know, is available. You know.
It's a damn shame.
You know, but to go to your corner store and, you know, then you see what they might have an apple in the corner store, but they want like $1.50 for the apple, and the apple is small and just not a very good apple. It's not a healthy apple. It's usually like got those little brown spots on them. And I grew up in Yakima, Washington, which is a apple place. I used to pick them. And if they had brown spots, you weren't supposed to put those in the bins, right? But now I see those same type of apples in the stores we eat today. You know, if I go down to the little Chinese store or Korean man store down on the corner, he has those apples in his store selling them to the neighborhood. And I would never eat that apple because it has those little brown marks on it. It's not a good apple.
That's like people that know about salmon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I spoke to some people, you know, who live in Alaska and stuff, and then they say about the salmon, like, yeah, there's certain salmon that, you know, we know is not, you know, any good, but people still, you know, they'll eat it or whatever, you know. It's like, once you become a connoisseur, you know, he's an apple connoisseur.
Well, I do that with fish. I do that with any fruit.
Yeah.
I grew up in a fruit place, and I also grew up fishing, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up fishing with Native Americans.
Yeah.
So when it comes to salmon and, you know, I know a sick-looking salmon when I see it. You know.
The color is bad. The color.
In the stores, they dye
Yeah.
the flesh
Yeah.
red So you think you may be buying a healthy fish because of how red it
Because
is,
of how, yeah.
but it's dyed. Those are farm raised fish, and they don't get that red color because they're farm raised. They're not in the ocean swimming, getting all the
Nutrients and
nutrients,
just
things
the
like
natural.
that naturally come about. So
They getting genetically, even fish get genetically modified.
Yeah. And it has a lot to do with our health, you know, it
Yeah.
really does. You know, these animals are being fed just some of the worst shit, right?
Yeah.
And so you know, you really have to kind of like internalize your health, you know, because it is an internal thing. You know, you're healthy. It's not something that you can look at somebody unless they're really sick, but go, oh man, that's an unhealthy person, right?
Right.
So you have to kind of inside of you say, you know, like I'm going to start living a healthier life, and when I mean healthier, you know, exercise, eating right, things like that. One of the things that people should also understand is that when it comes to health, I've been pretty healthy the last few years, right? But one of the things that I realized that is a part of that is how I eat, right? Not what I'm eating, because I try to eat right, but you know, I'm a freaking sugarholic, right? So I'm not gonna sit up here and act like.
Are you surprised? Look at his energy level. Off the chain.
Well, I literally can't lie. I eat sugar, man, and I fight it every day. You know, literally every day I'm in a fight with sugar, right? So I can't sit here and act like you know. But what I do can control is when I eat, right? So I don't eat unless it's after 11 o'clock in the afternoon, and I don't eat after 7 o'clock at night.
I'm 7:30.
Right. So we give ourselves 8 hours.
I'll be pushing it at 7:25.
You know, well, you give yourself, like for you, you should go from 12 to 8.
Yeah.
Go from 12 to 8. That's your 8-hour period, right?
Yeah.
I just don't eat after 8 o'clock. So,
Yeah.
and I try because I'm going to bed at 9, 10 o'clock. So I eat the food and I'm done eating usually by 7 o'clock, and then gives me like a good 3 hours for my food to digest and not fall asleep with all that food on you.
Right.
But the healthy part is that when you get up in the morning time, you're not hungry. You're just not. You know, but you can say you are, but you're not. But what happens is when you get up, your body starts to work again. And so what it does is it starts to level out the hormones. It starts to burn all the calories that were left over from the day before that it didn't wait to get rid of, and all that. And if you allow yourself 3-4 hours of awake time moving around, doing all kinds of things, then your body, what it does, it basically burns off all the excess food from the day before.
I read the best thing to do during that time period is drink water. Is that true? You find that the truth?
I drink lots of water.
First thing in the
coffee.
morning, like drink water. Like,
Well, yeah, every morning I get up with a cup of water.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I do. I drink a whole cup of water, then I drink 2 cups of coffee. I will drink one in the morning time, and I drink one during the show, right? But what it does is it suppresses my appetite, so I'm not hungry until 11, 12 o'clock, right? Then when I eat, my body uses every single bit of what I eat. You know, I've been eating carbs lately, right? Like sometimes I'll eat a lot of carbs, sometimes I won't, but I've been eating a lot of carbs lately, right? And my body has been disposing of them like that. It's not storing it, you know. It's not storing the fat. I still weigh 191 pounds, you know. So, you know, I realize that those hours that I'm eating are giving me the ability to burn off all the calories and stuff like that from the day before. So, you know, I think that's a huge part of why I'm always feeling good, you know, is because of how my body is dealing with the calories and stuff like that, which is, you know, I mean, that's healthy for you. So a lot of it is, you know, not just what you eat, but when you eat and stuff like that, you know, because like I said, I can sit here and act like I'm the healthiest eater on the planet, but I'm not. You know, I do eat fried food sometimes.
It's about when you eat.
Yeah.
That's more important.
So it's when you eat.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna eat fried foods, you know, eat it around between that 2 and 5 o'clock hour is probably the best time to eat it. You know what I mean?
So you can burn off those calories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'm literally like, I was 280 pounds, right? And like I've exercised before and stuff like that. And usually it works, but to a certain point, right? But now, like, I can go 3-4 weeks without exercising and I still won't gain any weight because of how I eat, you know. Not what I'm eating, but how I'm eating, the times that I'm eating. You as a human being, you really don't need those 3 freaking full-ass meals plus the 2 snacks in between. You just don't.
Yeah, real talk.
And it takes you, that was to sell more groceries and sell more products to consumers.
That's Lulu.
You know, this is Lulu. Oh yeah,
We smoking Lulu,
we smoking Lulu now, y'all. Wow, Lulu actually tastes pretty good.
Lulu's good.
Man, you give Lulu another week, she gonna be some fire. You know, so I mean, you know, and I was gonna say that the more you curb your eating style to what we're just talking about, they call it intermittent fasting. I don't call it fasting, and I don't call it intermittent. I call it lifestyle, right? That's what I call it. It's my lifestyle now, how I eat, and it again. They say intermittent. If you do intermittent fasting for X amount of days, you will lose 40 pounds and keep 40 pounds off a year. Well, I keep that off because I do it. That's just literally how I live. 11 to 7. And I'm not saying I don't ever eat after 7 o'clock because, you know, if you go out for a dinner date or go to somebody's house for dinner and you know, every once in a while you'll do that. But we're talking about the consistency of eating like that all the time, right? So, but it really makes a difference in your health because it gives your body the ability to get rid of everything that you use and you just don't store it and become fat, which again also becomes cancerous cells and things like that when fat builds up like that, right?
Shit, I've lost 20 pounds just by not stop eating late. You know what I mean? Like I'm 6'8", you know, 265 pounds now. You know what I mean? Like, you know, really my weight where I'm at, like when I was playing, my playing weight was, you know, like 225 right in there, you know what I mean? 230 I was probably at the heaviest, you know, when I was playing. But so now, you know, I'm a little older, like 265. I'm still like about 25, 30 pounds off of where I want to be. So, you know, because of my muscle mass and stuff now. So anyway, I just know that he's saying the right stuff because I know, you know, just stopping eating late because you know, from smoking weed, a lot of times, you know, I don't know if anybody else faces this problem. I was, you know, going in the kitchen late at night, you know what I mean, snacking all up in the pantry and stuff, you know, and shoot, just being able to discipline myself and curb that, you know, I lost 20 pounds alone. Now imagine, and that's not with not even doing any cardio or anything yet, you know, so when I get ready to start doing my cardio, you know, because I'm coming off of a ruptured Achilles tendon, which is, you know, pretty good, pretty strong. It's pretty strong now. It's a little over a year. I did it last April would be a year. And so it's about a year and a half now coming off that injury. I'm getting ready to, as soon as like COVID and they start clearing things up, you know, I'll be playing ball a lot more, you know. Even now the gyms are open, so I'm thinking about starting to go just to get on the EFX in the mornings, you know, for about 20 minutes. So I just know, just by not eating late, I lost 20 pounds. You know what I'm saying? In a matter of like a couple months.
Yeah, and he will continue that same decline until your body gets to a point where it just feels natural. Then if you want to continue losing that weight, you just start exercising, running. I mean, running, no matter what you run will make you skinny, all right? That's why, like for me, like I can run, I'll run 5 days a week, but I'll weigh 185 pounds too. So what I have to do is run and then not run. Run and then not run. You know, because running, it's probably the best exercise that you can do for your whole body because it works every muscle, totally healthy for you.
But the surface is important. I know a lot of people, design certain shoes or whatever, but the cement has never been a good surface to really
No.
supposed to run on.
You
It's
shouldn't
not
run on
good for the
cement.
joints.
No.
You should run on a soft surface. It should be, dirt or grass or some type of rubber track or something like that.
Yeah, if you're a little skinny dude, it really don't make too much of a difference if you're a little skinny dude.
Right.
But we ain't got no little skinny dudes up in here.
Right.
So
Talking about men with
some girth on them.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that I run up and down my driveway, but really I should be at a track, running on a rubberized track, but for some reason, I just don't like that. I like, and I don't like running in the street either. So that's why I run in my driveway, because if I run down my driveway to the street, out across the street and back, basically that's 50 yards. So I'm running up and back 100 yards like this over and over again, right?
Yeah.
But I'm used to running on a treadmill. So this is actually, like way better, and that's why I can do it. Even my neighbor goes, how come you don't run, just like go for a run instead of just running all the way up your driveway into the street, across the street and back? And I go, well, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
Like, what difference does it make? And he's like, I guess nothing. I said, no, I don't. I'm running the same distance no matter what, right? Because I'm running for the time. I'm going for, a 30-minute run. So, I'm going, how much faster I can get in that, 30 minutes time is really what I'm about, because if I start, because of the way that muscles are, my muscles break down and I start losing all kinds of shit after 30 minutes.
This is a man, this is in his 50s. So, you know what I mean? So this should be inspiring to a lot of people, hopefully.
Well, shit, if I can do
watching.
it, you guys can do it. Because, like I said, I'm 6'2.5", and I was 280 pounds. And so I couldn't even do a push-up, so I just started working out on the RX-1 Factor jump box over here, and dropped that weight. And I dropped that weight, right? But the health benefits of it were just, my testosterone levels shot through the roof, right?
Yeah.
Because, especially when you work out on the RX-1 Factor jump box, you do a lot of hip movement. So your hips are moving back and forth a lot, which is really what generates testosterone and estrogen levels.
Mm-hmm.
It's the movement in the hips. A lot of people think it's,
That's like a lot of men like to, a lot.
Well, when you get older, when you're younger, you just naturally are moving your hips more, right? And so they say as you get older, your testosterone levels and your estrogen levels decrease,
It's
right?
the motion in the
But
ocean
it's the
that keeps
motion,
it in
yeah.
flotation.
Yeah, it's the
with
amount of
rotation.
it's the amount of movement that we do. The older we get, the less we move, right?
Yeah, for real.
And so, if you made it a point to get up and move your hips, I dance too. Like I work out, train, do all that, and I'm listening to music, right? So I'm dancing and doing all kinds of stuff as I'm working out in between sets and stuff like that. And
yeah, check out one of the old school videos.
I just and it really makes a difference.
Hey, Lulu is some good. Lulu is the first hit of the morning. I'm just letting you know. So we obviously know this is probably a sativa dominant hybrid, okay?
I don't know.
And it was real sticky on my fingers when I was rolling it. So,
oh yeah, she's sticky.
And now I think I'm a jokester right now.
Yeah, Lulu, she's still cured. So we got her in 2 jars.
She curing all
She'll
right.
remain in those jars for another couple weeks, and then we'll bring her out. And man, she'll be just, oh my God, she'll be perfect. But this is some of Lulu inside of here, and there was a little stem that you guys probably see me. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And it's still potent.
Potent.
Still potent, you guys. So, and this is also good for health. Marijuana is very good for health. People wonder why. They go, how come you look so young? I said, because I smoke a lot of weed, right? I don't drink very much liquor, very little liquor. I'm just not that guy, but I smoke a lot of weed, which
Yeah.
makes it so that I'm not sitting around stressing over shit.
Yeah.
You know, okay, either I, because one thing about weed, it makes it so that you only control the things that you can control. Things that you can't control, you just move on about your business, right? That's what weed gives me the ability to do. Right? You know, it gives me the ability to laugh at a confrontational situation. You know, if it's like that. You know, just like this guy said to on our Facebook today that he wasn't gonna look at a video because of the shirt that I had on that said "Education trumps hate," which I just laughed like it was pretty funny because, you know, I smoking weed. So weed is good for so many things health wise too, you know, and I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that, you know, you can sit around stressing, taking pills, you know, smoking cigarettes,
Yeah.
you know, and drinking alcohol and just stressing. Or you can smoke some weed and relax the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Or be creative. You know, it depends on what
Yeah,
you're smoking.
sure.
You know, which type, a sativa or indica. If you're smoking a more indica dominant, you know, you definitely can relax and not be, you know, and not stressing the fuck out. Even if you're smoking a sativa dominant, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
just more. It gets more of your creative juices going. You know.
Oh, I become really creative on
The only thing with sativa is that some people become they get what do you call it? Because it's a
Stimulant.
Yeah, it's an upper kind of like weed. It's a weed that kind of
Get you
like
going.
gets stony high, head high, gets you going. But some people get anxiety.
I get anxiety more over indicas.
Yeah, so it just it just depends on the person, but there's a strain for everybody.
Purple strain.
Yeah.
Purple indica for me creates anxiety, so I stay away from those.
Right.
Yeah. Those are not healthy for bud margins. Like I love indica, and but I literally there's certain ones I can smoke and certain ones I stay the fuck away with. Like for me, I can't smoke really, like especially heavy indicas like after 8 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock at night. Like so around 8, 9 o'clock at night, I don't smoke weed anymore. I'm done because I start it for some reason it creates anxiety. I wake up in the middle of the night full of anxiety, tripping. So I tend to stop around 8 o'clock or so smoking weed, and then I tend to I get up and then after the anxiety attack's over, which is only 10 minutes or so, I go back and then I lay down and go back to sleep and it's over. But still, you don't like to go through that.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to shout out real quick, Elements Media Network.
Elements Media Network TV. Shout out, big shot. Love smoke, baby.
Shout out to OG Smoking Weed.
Love smoke,
Mr.
baby.
Good Kush 89.
That's right.
And it's your boy Bud Margins. We'll be back in a minute. And also shout out Rainier Avenue Radio and Mobility TV. Shout out to our producer, Mariah Hill. So on our return one, you guys, we're going to start a discussion on Breona Taylor. Breonna Taylor. And I seen a picture of Emmett Till, and then the picture of Breonna Taylor. And it's like, they get away with it. And then I seen another picture of these two white dudes hugging their white wives, and the description of what they had just got away with in committing a murder on this black guy. And what they had just got, the description was, it was so horrific. And the fact that they were allowed to get away with that, it's incredible. It's incredible. But you know, the Breonna Taylor thing, that's systemic racism right there. That's
Yeah.
the systemic racism. The fact that it was done by a brother, woo, that makes it even worse, right? Because the brother is the one that made the decision. And his decision didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? The when you hear what the decision was, it made no sense. Like
You know,
fucking
I get all that, you know, the politics of it behind it, you know, everything, you know, in the
I
courtroom and the system and all that. I see it because I see the injustice, so I understand how that, you know, that works because, you know, it's just crooked, you know. I just look at, you know, what are we going to do now? Where are we going? Where are we going? We know what's going on. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's time to stop asking the people that are doing these things to please stop, please do this, please do that. Where are we going? It's just time to start taking what's ours. You know, it's time to quit, you know, being treated like second class citizens. You know? It's not cool. You know, and what are we gonna do?
ready? Just let us know when you're ready.
Because that dude's just a puppet. The
black
deputy
dude?
DA, yeah, he's just a puppet, man. Come
He
on, man.
made the decision. Those dudes have a lot of freaking power.
Okay.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to OG Smoking Weed. Coffee and blunt session. What's happening? It's your boy Bud Margins.
Mr. Good Kush 89. Love smoke, baby. Smoking on Lulu.
Mm-hmm. Lulu in the house.
Gonna smoke.
So I'm gonna hit Lulu real quick because she good. She gonna make me happy because we're gonna talk about a really bad subject here.
Remember, we could have that tangy, that citrus smell. I knew it. Yeah, you can tell.
That is
yeah,
good.
It's a good sativa.
Woo!
And it was crystally, you know what I mean? Like, this one right here is like, yeah.
Man, she's really, really tasty. So hopefully the person that won this contest snapshot sends me their snapshot of their guest so that I can see when, you know, who it was. You should have it because I asked you guys to snapshot it, right? So you should have it. Just send it to me. Okay, so in the second half, you guys, we gonna talk about this Breonna Taylor mess, and it's a mess. So we all know that the police, if you don't know the story, went to serve a warrant, a no-knock warrant, and it was the wrong place, and ended up killing a young black lady, and who really, I mean, it shouldn't even have occurred. They shouldn't have even been at her house because the person that they were looking for, they already had in custody. And one thing that I find is that nobody's even talking about that anymore. That the person that they were looking for, they already had in custody, right? There was no reason for this young lady to even have to, or the young man to live through it, or the lady that died from it. None of it should have happened, you know? And they said, oh, this one's different because the boyfriend shot at him. Now, just imagine, you know, you minding your own business and you ain't doing nothing, and all of a sudden, your door's getting kicked in. Yeah, you're gonna start shooting because that's how people who are coming in to rob you come in. And they didn't say police. You know why I know that? It was a no-knock warrant. They said they knocked and said police. Well, we knocked on the door and said police before we caved in the door. Well, they're lying. It's a no-knock warrant. They don't do that. They don't go knock, knock, knock. It's the police. They don't do that. They go BAM and knock your door down. And next you know, they're in there screaming and yelling. And when they're screaming and yelling, you don't know what the fuck they saying. You know, they're sitting there. who gives a fuck once they knock your door down and you got 20 dudes in your door with guns screaming and yelling? You don't know what the fuck they saying. So if they said police, really, how are you supposed to know what they're saying? Because when they come in, they're not quiet. They're all screaming and yelling. So you start shooting. You start shooting, right? And then they start firing back. Now, who created that situation? The person that shot first or the people that broke down the door? Right? The people that broke down the door, right? Because they could have served that warrant and found out that they didn't need to be there.
Right.
They had to just, all they had to do was knock on the door. And bam, they could have beat on the door, right? You didn't even have to knock on it, just beat on the door. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. It's the police. Come to the door. Right?
That's it.
And they would have got up, came to the door.
What kind of place was she living in?
An apartment.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, I was wondering why they, beat down the door. I mean, like there was a whole bunch of exits out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
There were no other exits
Like they
out.
were living in a mansion or something, had a whole bunch of ways to get out the house or something. I mean, they were in a freaking apartment and you had to bust in the door. Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Where are you gonna go? Out the bathroom window? Is that the only window that goes to the other side? Usually an apartment or a balcony? Like, there's not too many places to go. So, why would you have to bust down the door? I mean,
well, it seems like for me is right. So what I really looked at was how now they're trying to control the narrative and trying to act like her boyfriend caused all this, right? And he didn't have a warrant for his arrest. She didn't have a warrant for her arrest. So how did they cause it? Wasn't it caused by the people that came crashing through the door? you know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
And then I read some stuff where they're trying to act like Breona was a drug dealer. I mean, that's the government putting that shit out there on Facebook.
That's what they do. That's that part of that system. Dave Chappelle was smoking crack in Africa.
That's what they said.
See what I'm saying? I mean, that's part of this system. That's what they do through the news and the media, that entertainment. That sometimes that system
I couldn't even believe I read that. I was like, what the fuck? And that's the government putting that shit out there.
They
Because they're trying to now assassinate her character.
because they know
This is how stupid white people are.
they know
That's what some
programming
white people
controls
are.
the masses.
Right. This is what they said. Breonna Taylor's family got $12 million, but yet the Black Lives Matter movement still marching. Well, can I ask you what the two got to do with each other?
Right.
What the fuck does the Black Lives Matter got to do with the $12 million settlement that their family got?
Come on, man.
Wasn't she black? And her life did matter. Like, why is there always this look for justification for
And we don't need a song about it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Really, we don't. We don't need a song about it. We need real action.
Action.
You know what I mean? Like, tired of somebody over here next to somebody make a song and be dancing off of Breonna Taylor. Say Breonna. No, come on, man. We need action.
Yeah. We need some serious action because there's not going to be any relief unless we're willing to take it to that level. And I'm looking. I see people are willing to take it to that level. I mean, cats are firing on these police officers. They're firing on them because people are starting to get afraid. I mean, people have been afraid, but I'm talking about people are starting to become terrified. Black people are starting to become terrified and angry. And when you get angry and terrified working together, it's not good. It's not good.
It's not good.
It's just not good.
It's just not good.
And like I was watching LeBron James yesterday talk about it, he was almost speechless over it.
Because
I could see the tears in his eyes. He was trying his best not to break down on freaking national television over that, and so it doesn't make a difference what economic level you are in this country. It affects you if you black.
you got to put yourself. You got to put yourself in that situation.
It affects you if you black, because you got to think about it. I got black
gotta think
sons,
about
I got
it.
black daughters, you know. You got all these, you got a black mama, you got a black wife,
That's happening because they're black.
Yeah.
Think about that. So you're a black person, you have to think about that. That is happening to them because they are black. So that means that could be anybody.
Yeah. And Charles Barkley, how he got up there, I don't like that dude.
Yeah, we all know what time it is with John.
I can't believe Charles Barkley got up there on national television and said what he said yesterday. I'm not even going to repeat it, but Charles, I just pulled your black card. You ain't got it anymore, man. I pulled Charles Barkley's black card, okay? He no longer is part of the black culture in America. He's toast. He's done. Because I could tell when he started talking like that he knew in his head that he shouldn't be saying it.
Mm-hmm.
But the money,
Chuck the buck.
Chuck the buck. Chuck the buck. But Chuck the buck just lost his black card because there's no justification for that. It wasn't any different than any other black killing.
Everything you're going through, you ought to always be about your people. Everything that your people are and your ancestors have went through, you got to always think, because even to this, there's no way to this day, I don't care what's going on, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not saying you have to have hate in your heart. It's not saying you got to hate. But it's like, there's no way, like, I always think about, like, the babies' heads that were bashed on the rocks just because they were black.
Or
I
fed
think
to the
about
gators to catch gators.
Yeah, the men that were castrated, you know what I'm saying, with hot, I just because they were black, our ancestors. So I always have that stuff in my mind, like.
And shit, not even our ancestors, our aunts and uncles and shit like that, because it's still happening today.
So I owe it to them, you know what I'm saying, to constantly speak out, to constantly seek knowledge, to constantly seek truth about my people, to constantly, you know what I'm saying, like learn about my history, through nationality, government, commerce, and law, you know what I mean? Constantly, I owe it to them to better myself, to try to better my seed, to try to better my people, you know what I'm saying, the best I can, or the ones that are around me. I owe it to them. I mean, because everything they went through, I mean, how can you not think black? How can you not? And as a human being, I don't care what race you are, how can you not look at another race in the country that you live in, this country, and see what they've gone through historically wise and what's happening to them today, and not
understand that it's treachery. It'd be like looking at the Native Americans and saying, well, the Native Americans, they're all right, they got casinos, right?
Oh,
It would be like, no, they ain't all right. You know what I'm saying? You took their country, right? You murdered and,
Then you charging for fishing licenses.
Well, they don't got to pay. Native Americans ain't got to pay, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is that the destruction, it's this constant destruction, is and it's what's going on still today. Even though all this stuff is going on, and we're telling you, we don't want any more of this systemic racism, and you throw it in our face, but you use a black man to throw it in our face, right? You use a black man to throw it in our face, and that's one thing I'm getting sick and tired of, is white privilege using blackface to try to prove their point, to try to make them feel they're right. Well, we ain't the ones that said it, he said it. Like Charles Barkley or that attorney general or whatever he was. Right? I mean, come on, you guys. You guys better wake up. You know, they got us fighting us. You know, they got us because when that guy gets to, if he lives long enough to be an old man, he's going to regret that. That brother, if he lives long enough to be an old man, he's going to regret that. Because for some reason, he seems to act like he don't see the struggle, and that he don't see the fight, and he don't see the racism and the bigotry that is in the system that he works in. You know, I mean,
You don't gotta sell out to keep a job. I think even the most racist white person will respect a black person that stood up for his own, because that's what a racist person do. They stand up so far for their own that they think they're better than someone
and they're
else.
willing to kill you over it.
And they're willing to kill you over it. So even though, you know what I'm saying, you don't gotta, I guess that's where the word comes in. What do they call it? A coon. You don't have to, you know what I mean. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean, like to get ahead or to keep a job, because society's changing. The world is changing. And these networks and all this other stuff are going to have to change. They're going to have to allow people to keep it real and keep it 100 and keep it and keep it black and keep it proud and keep it whatever you are, and just keep it proud and keep it love and keep it 100 and keep it justice. I mean, it's changing. The baby boomer. I mean, the babies. You know, the generations are changing. The people, the kids that are coming up. Your kids that are, the ones that are parents that are so racist, your kids, you're even trying to teach them that hate and stuff, but they live in this society. Your kids are, you know what I'm saying, listening to rap music. You know what I'm saying? Your kids are, influenced by black culture. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because I saw the black man calling the black dude a nigga with Jordans on.
Come on, man.
White dude had Jordans on, calling the black man a nigga. I was like, but the dude got Jordans on.
The world, as bad as it is, and it's gonna get worse, but it is changing, and it has to get worse before before it gets better.
Before it gets better, America really has to show its true colors so that we understand how deep this fight is. This fight is deep, so you have to say, yeah, Donald Trump came along for a reason, because now he's showing we're able to see what the fight really is about. Before Donald Trump, they kept going, oh no, it ain't like that. Every excuse in the book. Now you can't say that. It's blatant. It's like in the 1960s, straight up, with the police and all these white militias out here carrying guns, acting like they working for the police, and the police working with them, talking to them like they buddies. Yeah, y'all go down this street, we're gonna pull them up this way, and blah, 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 blah. Come on.
Yeah, man.
And you see a black man that he got a cell phone, but they think it's a gun and they blow him away. Right? Come on. If we don't understand that this is genocide, this is genocide from the federal level to the state level to the local level. And they gonna cover for each other no matter what.
Everybody knows this shit ain't right.
Yeah, they gonna cover for each other. The fact that they can get a black man to say that the people and the walls that were all around, and those bullets that went through those walls were more important than Breona's life, that tells you right there's a deep problem. And they got a coon, that means a black dude, to do it. To come
And I
out.
love Chuck as a basketball player.
Oh no, I'm talking about the attorney, the attorney.
I know what you're talking about, but I just
prosecutor.
had to say that. You know what I mean? We were talking about Chuck the Buck earlier. I love Chuck as a basketball player, but his politics, his stance, and all that kind of stuff, man, it's garbage.
Garbage, and he comes from Alabama too. But Chuck Chuck got a lot of other problems too that people, and you have to really understand that about Chuck. I think Herschel Walker and Charles Barkley, they don't have a black card anymore though. So I'm just letting you guys know
What is
that.
wrong with you?
I just I
Loved Herschel as a football
I
player.
did.
Dope. Love that boy in Georgia. Oh man, you was the shit, boy.
You know.
Yeah, you was Georgia. Loved it.
But for Charles to
Loved
say
him
that,
in the NFL too,
yeah.
man. Regardless of what they said
Yeah.
about you, I still loved you.
I did too.
One of
but
the greats.
hey,
But I hate your politics.
I hate your
man.
politics. You know, your politics ain't right for black folks,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
know that.
Yeah, you are.
And you know that. And you know, for Chuck to say on national television that this was different. This wasn't, this wasn't where, because he shot at them. It's like, it makes no difference. They knew they were black people,
Right.
that they were going to their house, first of all. And then the fact that they were black, they didn't care about those bullets.
Yeah, sure they had a profile printout and everything.
Yeah, and the fact that they knew that the lady lived there in that house, they should have knocked on the fucking door and woke them up and had them come to the door.
Yeah.
They didn't have to break her door down because the person they were looking for wasn't there. He was in jail already.
Right.
So that's the part that people seem to not, I don't know, talk about anymore. That, I mean, I just can't. That's the part I can't get past, because I try not to get caught up in all that, right? But I had to look and read a little bit about it just so that I could talk about it, right, to you guys. And the thing about it is that the guy they were looking for was in jail already. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, man. It's just crooked.
Like, and then the cop said, we knocked and said police on a no-knock warrant. We knocked and said police.
But they got witnesses that
On a no-knock warrant.
that were in the building that were there that said they didn't hear any noise. Nobody knocked or nobody yelled. They would have heard it. You know what I mean? The way that building was designed and the way the
But
apartments
somehow they said they also got some people who said they heard police. Them say police.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And you know what? Those are the people that those police intimidate.
Right.
I need you to go up there and say this. Hey, you got a warrant for your arrest? And if you don't do what we say, we gonna come and get you.
If you don't play our way.
And that's the way they do things, you guys. So we better wake up. I know we
But
are.
as we come to unity and economics, we can change all that stuff.
Group economics is how we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Group economics, politics, our own political party. You guys, those are the solutions, our own finances, our own everything. That's how we solve this, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we eliminate this stuff.
Yeah.
So, we want everybody to understand that, we don't just smoke weed, we are aware of what's going on out here, right?
Yes, we are.
The reason why we get to be OGs and live that long is because we're observers. We're observing what's going on.
And blessed by the Most High.
To
Little
live
smoke,
this long.
baby.
Yes. Okay, you guys, we appreciate you guys watching us today. And we will be back again on Monday. And
shout out to Elements Media TV.
Yeah, shout out to Elements Media TV. Shout out to Two OGs Smoking Weed.
Love smoke.
Shout out to Rainier Avenue Radio,
Yeah.
Mobility TV. Shout out to our producer, Mariah Hill.
That's right.
And Two OGs Smoking Weed, Mr. Good Kush 89.
Yeah.
Support my margins. Peace.
I was thinking what it would look like about this light. Because the natural light started coming in.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys are getting like wider and wider.
Okay. That must be some awful light to make me look white. Well, so if you turn that light off and turn that light on right there, these lights, yeah. Because these lights is what I usually use and have no problem.
It's still too dark.
Oh, yeah, it's dark. I can see it now. It was real sun, but I also have that door open too. But it's next week, it'll be real hot, sunny, so we'll have that door open. And so there'll be some, we don't have to have it open, but you know what I'm saying, it'll be a lot.
Supposed to be like 75 next week.
Oh, well, it'll still be cool in the morning time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be cool in the morning time.
Definitely. Yeah.
it just keeps all the noise, outside noise out when we're doing this. Okay, you guys, that's our show for today.
Already.
Smoker, take a hit to this, you guys. Listen, we want you guys to come onto our show too, so please keep DMing me. For those of you that want to come and be a guest on our show, smoke some of this good ass weed with us. Smoke some of this good ass weed with us, y'all.